Hi guys, welcome back to Ash Talks Basketball, and today we're doing the top 10 players for this upcoming season. I'm going to predict who I think are going to be the 10 best players this season, and without further ado, let's get into it. Before we start, I have two honourable mentions in Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis. I think Damian Lillard's going to take a bit of a step back this season because he's got people like Giannis and Chris Middleton on his team to contribute to scoring, and I just don't think Anthony Davis plays enough games to make this list. When he does play, he's really good, a great defensive and offensive player, but I just don't think he'll get in enough games this season to make this list. In at 10th, I've got Jimmy Butler. I know he doesn't contribute as much in the stats as these other players do, but he is so good in the playoffs. He always contributes to winning, and I think the Miami Heat are yet again going to be good this year, and if they're going to win in the playoffs, Jimmy's their key. He's a great scorer in the playoffs, and he's a great defender when he needs to be. But I've got him lower because he's just not consistent throughout the season. In at 9, I've got Kevin Durant. He's going to be relied on less this season because he's got players around him like Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, so I don't think he's going to be as high on this list as the season ends, but he's still one of the greatest scorers of all time, and he's going to be really effective for the Phoenix Suns. There's just one main problem I have with him is he's not going to be as primary as an option as he was in his last few years, and he is very prone to injuries, which does set him back on this list. In at 8, I've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Some people think this is really high for him, but I have high hopes for him this season. Thunder are going to be in the play-ins for the first time in a while. I think he's going to be good. Josh Giddey's been looking good. Chet Holmgren looked great in the preseason. And I have a lot of faith for the Thunder. And if they're going to be any good this year, I think Shai's going to be one of the best players in the league and a great offensive player at the point guard position. And I personally think he's going to be one of the best players in the league this year. In at 7, I've got LeBron James. He may be 39 this year, but he's an amazing player. Lakers are going to rely on him a lot when it comes down to the big games, especially if Anthony Davis is going to be injured for them. He's a great scorer. He can distribute the ball, and he is an overall amazingly athletic player, especially for his age. And I just think he's going to be staying consistent till he's 40, 41. I think this year will be his last year of high-caliber basketball before he starts falling off near the end of his career. In at 6, I've got Joel Embiid. I know this is low for the reigning MVP, but we have not seen him get past the second round ever, and I don't expect him to do it this year. James Harden's situation is just falling to pieces, and he just doesn't have consistent players around him. He's going to be good, but I just can't rank him as high as others if he's not going to contribute to winning like people like Giannis, Steph, and Jokic. So I've got him here at 6. In at 5, I've got Luka Doncic. Like Joel Embiid, he's an amazing player, but we just haven't seen him contribute to winning. I'm expecting a lot from Luka this year. I think the Mavs are going to have a better season than they did last year. They were struggling last year, and they really have to if Luka's going to end up in this spot at the end of the year. He's an amazing player. He's a great scorer, rebounder, and passer, and you just need to see the Mavericks maintain a high player spot if you want to see him rise on this list, because he's got everything else down pat. He just needs to win and play a bit more defense. In at 4, I've got Steph Curry. One of the greatest scorers of all time, has been on a winning team for years. I just don't think he produces like he used to. He's still one of the best players in the league. I just think the younger guys have overpassed him, but he's still amazing scorer, consistent and contributes to winning, and that's why I have him at 4. In at 3, I've got Jason Tatum. He's an amazing scorer. He's consistent on both sides of the ball. He's led Boston to many conference finals and even an NBA finals 2 years ago. I think he's a amazingly consistent player. He's still young and he's still developing. I expect him to have a huge season this year, but I just don't see him being one of the best players in the league like Jokic or Giannis yet. He's the best small forward, and I still think he's growing as a player, but I still have players like Giannis and Jokic ahead of him. In at 2, I've got Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's been great for Milwaukee for years now, and we all know him. He's an amazing scorer, amazing defender. He's won a championship a few years ago, but I just think Jokic is one step above him. He won the championship, he's the reigning finals MVP, and should have won the MVP last year. There's nothing to argue with. Although Giannis is a better defender, I just think if you've won the championship, you had the whole team riding on you, I think Jokic deserves the spot. And as I was saying before, Jokic at number 1. He's the finals MVP, he won a championship, and should have won the MVP. I think for me, it's clear cut. He is the best player in the league right now. And that's all I have for you today. So thank you for watching the video, and have a nice day.